Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the 15th tutorial in this course. In this tutorial we are going to check out some really important and cool array functions, and I've got a file opened up in my text editor. It's called array_functions, and this is probably going to be a slightly long tutorial because there is a lot that I want to cover in this tutorial. So on line number 7 you can see that I have created a variable called arr, and I've created an array variable, and I've used the array function for it, and it has numeric values only. So I've got 15, 10, 3, 19, 7, 62, 8, 5 and 12 as the values stored in the variable arr. Now let's say you want to find out the number of elements that are there in your array, or the number of values that are there. You can use the count function for that, and I've done that on line number 8. I first echoed out the text number of elements, then I've concatenated using the concatenation operator, uh, and the value that I've concatenated is the value that's going to be returned by the count function. So to use the count function, you simply type in count, and then within parentheses you pass in the name of a variable that is an array, right? So I've passed in $arr there because that's the name of the array that I've created. And you can also find out the maximum value if you've got numeric values in your array variable. So you do that using the max function, and I've used it on line number 9, and it's very simple. Within parentheses you have to pass in the name of your array, and similar to max is the min function which I've used on line number 10, and this one returns the minimum value or the least value of the values that are there in your array variable, right? So let's check out the output of these three functions. I'll go to my browser. Instead of asoc_arrays, I'll look for array_functions.php. When I press the enter key, I see that the number of elements in the array is 9. We can count. So 15 is 1, 10 is 2, 3 is 3, 19 is 4, 7 is 5, 62 takes the count to 6, 8 takes the count to 7, 5 takes the count to 8, and 12 takes the count to 9. So right, there are 9 elements in the array, and the maximum value, as we can see, is 62, and the minimum value is 3, right? So that should be the output. Maximum value is 62, as you can see, and minimum value is 3. Now it is probable that when you create an array, you don't store your elements in sequential order, right? I mean, most of the times you get data through users, and you don't know what value they're going to type until you actually see those values. So if suppose you have some raw data with you in an array variable and you want to sort it, right? You want to have numbers in ascending order, or you want to have names arranged alphabetically or something of that sort, you can use the sort function in PHP, right? So on line number 11 I've used the echo command to just display the text sorted with a space after the colon, and then I have used the function sort, and I haven't used it as a concatenated value to the echo statement, because this function makes permanent changes to your array variable. So when I would use a sort function on the variable arr, it's actually going to change the sequencing of the elements in the array, right? So this is different from many string and numeric functions that we've seen, in which changes were not made permanently but were made temporarily, and we had to concatenate the functions with some text in the echo command to see the results. But the sort function makes permanent changes. So if I use the print_r function to see the new $arr array, then this is what we see. So we see that in the sorted array, at index position 0 we have the value 3, at index position 1 we have the value 5, at 2 we have 7, and at the last index position we have 62. So the least value, which is 3, has been relocated to index position 0, and that was in its original position, and the highest value 62 has been relocated to the last index position, which is 8, right? In all you have 9 elements. And similar to sorted, you also have the reverse sorted array, which would do the same thing but in the reverse order. So you would have 62 as the first element at index position 0, and you would have 3 as the last element at index position 8. So the first one, which is the sort function, arranges elements in an increasing order, and the second one, which is the rsort method, this method that I have used on line number 15, it arranges the elements in decreasing order, right? The next thing or the next function that I have used in this file is the implode function, and I've used it on line number 18. So the implode function is used to create a string from an array. Now I have all these numbers in here, and let's say I want to build a string out of these numbers, and I want to have a hyphen between different numbers in this array, right? So if I want hyphen to be a separator, then I'll have to create a string first. So I have created a string variable str on line number 18. I've used the assignment operator after the variable name. I've typed in the function implode, and then within parentheses I first typed in the separator that I want to use, which is a hyphen within single quotes, because the hyphen is a character. And then I have put in a comma and passed in the name of the array, uh, which has to supply values to this function as the second argument, right? And when you see the output, this is what you get: 62, 19, 15, 12, 10, 8, 7, 5, 3. So it's picked up the values from the reverse sorted array $arr, and it has created a string out of it by using the hyphen as a separator between the different values, right? uh, you can also create an array out of a string. So let's say you have a string like I have on line number 20. The name of the string variable is vowels, and it has the alphabets A, E, I, O, and U, and there's a space between each character, right? So each pair of characters, so you've got a space between A and E, and then you've got a space between E and I, and so on. Now let's say you want to create an array with each alphabet as an element in the array. Now you would have to tell PHP to use the space character in between these two alphabets as a separator, right? So you would first type in explode, that's the name of the function, and then within single quotes or double quotes you'll have to type in the separator that you want to use. So I just have a space character here because that's the separator. So if suppose in this string there was a comma between each pair of characters, then you would want to use the comma here instead of the space character as the first argument, and the second argument has to be the string name, the one that's going to supply all the characters. And since I don't want to create a separate array variable using this function, I have simply nested this function explode uh, with the space character as the first argument and $was the second argument. I have nested it inside the print underscore r function to simply see the output. So this is the array that we get. At index position 0 we have the alphabet A, at 1 we have E, at 2 we have I, 3 we have O, and 4 we have U, right? So the last function that we're going to check out is the in underscore array function, and this function checks whether an element that's applied as the first argument to the function is present in an array or not. So you would first have to type in whatever you want to look for, and the second argument has to be the array variable in which the search has to be made. So let's say we want to check whether 26 is present in this array or not. We'll type in underscore array, and then within a set of parentheses we'll first type in 26 and then a comma and then the second argument, which is the name of the array $arr, right? And similarly on line number 23 I have searched for 10 in the array, and the sequence remains the same. You first have the number that you want to look for, and the second argument has to be the name of the array. So is 26 present in this array? Of course not. So if the number is not present, the function in underscore array does not return anything, whereas if the number is present, then it returns 1, right? So let's check out the output. We see that we get a blank value or nothing for the search for 26, and we get 1 when we search for 10 in the array, right? So that's about the in array function, and it's again very useful. You would use it for lots of different kinds of things, and there are a lot of other array functions which you can check out at PHP's website. Like string functions, they've got a very powerful documentation for array functions too. And in case you have doubt about any of the functions that we've discussed in this tutorial or any of the functions that you check out on the website, you can leave comments and I'll try to reply as soon as possible. So that's it for now, and you may subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm going to see you in the next video. Till then, take care.